It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and our very own Jerry Caldwell. On Monday, January 13th, 2025. Look, I realize there are a lot of really bad things going on right now. The winter storm just hit a good chunk of the United States. Wildfires are going crazy in Southern California. But that's not all. There's something else we have to be worried about. There's a serial butt slapper in Denver. Just when you think things can't get any worse. Serial butt slapper in Denver. Police are asking the public to help identify him. A woman in the Denver suburb of Lakewood, I've been there, was out jogging on New Year's Day when he drove up behind her on an e-bike and slapped her butt. I don't know why that seems to make it worse. The fact that he's on an electrical bike kind of a thing, that just seems to make it worse. The whole thing's bad. If he's caught, he's going to face charges that may include sexual assault, rightfully so. But still, it's a funny headline. Horrible thing, funny headline. But somehow it makes it more insulting that he's on an electrical bike as opposed to, like if it's a Harley, okay, that makes sense.
So give us your vehicles that you would deem it acceptable.
Oh, it's all vehicles are unacceptable. There are just some that make it worse.
Oh, so which ones make it better?
Like a bicycle or
a Harley,
a skateboard?
No, I wouldn't think getting your ass slapped by somebody riding by on a skateboard would be. Again, they're all bad. Whatever mode of transportation someone uses to do a drive-by butt slap, they're all bad. I do think there are varying degrees of worse. And I do think getting drive-by butt slapped by someone on an e-bike is worse than if it happened from someone, say, on a hog, on a Harley Davidson. I don't know why. I don't know why. If I'm going to be slapped on the butt by a passerby, I'd rather it be someone driving a manly Harley Davidson than a hippie e-bike. But I've really kind of dug myself into a hole and backed myself into a corner here, and it's written all over Trey's face how happy he is about that. I don't know what to do about it. But I still feel that way despite my embarrassment, and I'm gonna, I'm just gonna lean into it. Skateboard, I would not be happy with. If someone was on roller skates and rolled by and on the butt, I'm not sure where I fall on that one. If that would be more complimentary or more assaulty.
I would think something that was capable of going faster would be more assaulty, If you're on an e-bike, you're going by and it's smack, or skateboard, whatever. If you're on a Harley, brrr,
yeah.
I think everybody gets injured on that
cooler.
one.
It's like, it's like if you're gonna get slapped on the butt by somebody, it's like, would you rather it be by a Hell's Angel or by a thong wearing neon clad individual in Malibu?
So is this some role playing deal, like where Tara dresses in leather before she pegs you?
Oh my God, ruin the pegging. Get off the pegging. It never happened.
Oh, that's your job.
I've known you for 20 years. And this is how you treat me. All right, put yourself in the shoes of a jogger, okay? And you're jogging and you're minding your own business. You're exercising, maybe listening to the Treehouse while you run around town and get your exercise in, get your steps in. And then out of nowhere, someone comes along on a vehicle of some sort and smacks you on the ass, it's bad, right? It's bad. But would it somehow make it less bad on a certain vehicle for you?
No.
No?
This seems to be your lane.
No. There's no backing out of an answer to my question. You have to answer it.
It's all bad, Dan.
Jerry, what about you?
I'm still stuck on the thing with the inertia. If it's a vehicle that's going faster, more powerful, and you get smacked, somebody on a Harley going 40 as opposed to somebody riding by on a bike at, say, 15 miles an hour or on skates, I would definitely say that the Harley would be worse. But it's all bad, Dan.
Dan, are assless chaps involved in this scenario with you?
No. This is purely a hypothetical, and quit dressing me up.
It's all right, Trey. I've done it 1,000 times.
Dress Dan up?
Yeah.
Oh.
I used to sit behind him all the time.
You never dressed me. Stop making things up.
What went on in the office after I left?
A lot of things, Trey, most of which I can't talk about.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse Show, then you will absolutely love us on social media. So give us a follow at Treehouse on Air, at Treehouse on Air across all the major social media platforms. That's at Treehouse on Air. And that includes TikTok while it's still around. Not sure how much longer that will actually last, but we'll see. We're watching it. We're keeping an eye on it. Not from a journalistic standpoint, but mainly from a self-promotional point of view. So we'll let you know. But yes, I am Dan, along with Trey, Jerry, back inside the Treehouse now. Real quick, on the TikTok thing, Trey, since you're our TikTok expert, the last thing I saw was that TikTok announced that they're planning on ceasing operations in the United States on January 19th. The Supreme Court was supposed to hear something, but not sure if it was actually going to do that or kick it back and say, nah, we're not going to. I know one of the guys from Shark Tank said he was in talks to try to buy it with somebody else.
So Supreme Court did hear arguments on Friday. And Kevin O'Leary's actually been talking about buying TikTok for a while, but he says we got capital together. And so no one knows if TikTok is then, this is a negotiating deal of them saying, fine, we're going to shut it down, or what's going to happen. I can't imagine they're going to just shut it down but I can't imagine they're going to really let this go through.
I'm with you. There seems to be too much money involved for it to just go away entirely.
Yeah. But then you have our twat Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, who also filed suit against TikTok on Friday for exposing minors to pornographic I forgot what the word is, content. Dude,
I don't think TikTok has that, does it?
No, nothing pornographic. There's always innuendo. Actually, TikTok is actually stricter on that than probably Instagram. But
Ken Paxton sure does love to sue. I think he's been one of the most active attorneys general I've ever heard of.
Yeah, on both as a plaintiff and a defendant.
he really is. He really is the whole package, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
He is a legal juggernaut.
More like a juggernaut, but
yeah.
So I think the deadline on that is the 19th, and I'm curious to see what happens there. But I did mention at the beginning of the show all the bad things that are happening right now. The devastating wildfires that have hit Los Angeles and other parts of Southern California. I've been watching this stuff, for the last close to a week now, and I saw that this could end up being the costliest natural disaster in United States history. Economic losses stemming from the fires in Southern California could be $50 billion. Insured losses from the event could exceed $20 billion. I mean, it's massive, it's awful, it's terrible, and
But we're now at a point in time, though, pretty much every disaster is the costliest one. Just
True.
as real estate and cost of goods keep going up, then it makes everything the costliest. But the wildfire in California is just devastating. I mean, it's just tragic.
And one of the reasons that it is partly because of the value of everything in that area. So I don't want it to get lost on people that a lot of the attention of the LA wildfire is on Hollywood, the celebrities' homes and things like that. James Woods lost his home. Mel Gibson has lost his home. A number of others. Steve Guttenberg is on TV trying to tell people to help to leave their keys in the car so they can move them for the firefighters responding to fires. But there's also quote unquote regular people that are affected by this. This is not all Hollywood stuff. There are people in apartment homes and all these other things that are also getting demolished, devastated, and reduced to literal ashes, and their lives are destroyed. So keep that in mind whenever you're looking at the fires. Don't get focused on one little aspect of it. It's a huge story. But part of the other thing that I've noticed about this is when you have a massive story like this on location, it's happening in an area, that means everyone's going to descend upon this area. And that includes TV people, the TV reporters, the anchors, especially when the anchor people leave their anchor desk and now they're going to go on scene and embed themselves with the firefighters. And this is not a new thing. This has happened for decades. I remember watching the Gulf War and Dan Rather and Tom Brokaw pulling out what looked to be their fly fishing vests to go report on the war in Iraq. Well, I guess because they wanted to blend in with the hotel wall they were reporting from.
Well, never forget, the first Gulf War is what put CNN on the map. Is Peter Arnett and Wolf Blitzer, and I can't remember who the third person was, but it was their reporting from Baghdad, like live as the bombs were starting to fall, that all of a sudden CNN, because then all the networks are carrying CNN, and that's really what, I mean, it had been around for about 10 years, but that's what launched CNN as a major news network.
And it's fascinating to me to see all the news personalities that will descend upon an area of massive news proportions, and then they have to dress the part. So because I remember like Dan Rather wearing like army fatigues at reporting from Vietnam, the fishing jackets because they were tan colored or sand colored from the Gulf War. And now, because of the fires in Los Angeles, you have all these TV journalists dressing like firefighters, one of which is David Muir from ABC News. David Muir from ABC News, he does, is it the nightly news on, what's the late ABC, whatever?
He does World News Tonight.
World News Tonight, that's what
he is their chief news guy.
He is their main dude when it comes to reporting news on ABC. And so much so that you got to make sure when you're there on location, you got to look the part, right? So David Muir made sure to go to ABC News wardrobe and make sure he was able to acquire his own firefighting fit. And this is silly for two reasons. One, because he kind of looks like this is an absolute firefighter's jacket that he is wearing on TV. And he's not anywhere near a fire most of the time. He's just got to look the part. He's basically got a cosplay wildfire fighter on TV. That's how serious and important it is when you relay the information to people at home. But the thing is those fire jackets are not very form-fitting. They're kind of baggy, right? So David Muir on ABC News, when he turns to show devastation behind him on TV doing a live report, the clothespins on the back of his jacket were exposed because, look, just because you're reporting on death and devastation in Southern California with the wildfires doesn't mean you can't still have that sexy V shape when you're on TV.
Wow.
And if you've ever seen David Muir, you could tell he's a man who spends a lot of time in the gym.
He does. He works out, and I understand. I understand wanting to look the part, right? Like, you spend all that time in the gym, you want people to notice it, and people can't notice it if you're wearing a big, bulky, unflattering yellow wildfire fighter jacket.
So that's what the uncanny valley was. He's wearing a firefighter jacket, but it's fitted.
Yep.
That's why it doesn't look great.
And if you notice on his jacket, it actually, the photo I'm showing you, it does say, and it's embroidered on there, ABC News. So it's not like he ran down to the Goodwill and just picked this up, on a whim. This is in his closet waiting for this moment, right? And ABC News, when they paid for this, said, "Oh, something better catch on fire. We got to send David out to wear this damn thing that we paid for." But here's the difference.
He's probably cussing. Ted Koppel was a fat ass.
That's right. It was probably Ted Koppel's. I think it is kind of an older logo. You're right. It was probably Ted Koppel's jacket that he never wore, but it was fitted for him. And David Muir is actually in shape, so he had to clothespin it to make himself look good. So if you're David Muir from ABC News, you're looking pretty good. You got your fire jacket on, and it says ABC News on it. On the other hand, if you're just some random reporter working for NBC Nightly News, you may not have access to the same threads. So in which case, you just go to whatever store you can find nearby that has yellow button-down shirts that you wear over your black undershirt, and now you kind of look like a smoke jumper on TV. I don't know who that reporter is, but he is absolutely 100%. And I love the quote that my buddy Brian here used. And then there's this twat cosplaying wildland firefighter on NBC Nightly News. TV people. Just such a swell bunch,
Mm-hmm.
So they have such a good sense of humor about things.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It is time to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. That's treehouseonair@gmail.com to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Enough with the serious stuff. Let's get back to some good old-fashioned stupid. And I don't know if there's much stupider stories in the news right now than this one. Thank you, Trey, for sending this to us inside the Treehouse. Police in Florida are looking for a woman who pooped on the floor of a Family Dollar store. But that's not all. She did it allegedly to distract the staff while a man stole around $500 in cleaning supplies. Along with her stools, they're still on the loose. And I'd like to point out, $500 in cleaning supplies from a Family Dollar store is a lot of cleaning supplies. That's a big heist.
Mm-hmm. And to distract from it, she does one of the grossest things, one of the least cleanly sanitary things you can do.
But honestly, if you walked into a Family Dollar store and you saw a lady taking it on the floor, would you really be surprised?
Nah.
I wouldn't. I mean, if I worked there, I can understand using it as a distracting tactic, and it somewhat worked because they both still got away, and the dude got away with the cleaning supplies. Although now that I think about it, it's really rude to take it in the Family Dollar so your boyfriend can steal cleaning supplies, meaning there's no cleaning supplies left in the store for them to clean up your. That's pretty terrible.
There is that.
Sons
Yeah,
of
they
bitches.
probably had to walk next door to Dollar General and buy some cleaning supplies.
Mhm.
Oh, and that's embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're probably
Walk of
across the
shame.
street and looking at the left. At the left, they're looking at that store. Then on the right, there's 99 cents only. Like, we can't slum it. No, we'll go to the dollar. Yeah. Police in Polk County, Florida, are looking for a man and a woman who stole around $500 worth of cleaning supplies from a Family Dollar store last month. And obviously, it's the employees who really needed those cleaning supplies, because the man was collecting the supplies in a cart and wheeling them out. And then the woman distracted the staff by pooping right on the floor of the store. That's all the details we have so far, as if that's not enough. Police are referring to them as Mr. Clean and Miss Dookie.
Wow. I can't wait for the Netflix docuseries.
I can't wait for them to catch her and find out what her prison nickname's going to be.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Did you know you can get even more Treehouse? It's true. Subscribe to Treehouse Plus, bonus content and subscriber-only episodes, including video. Those are all available at patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair to get Treehouse Plus. Dan O'Malley here, along with Trey Trenholm and Jerry Caldwell, on Monday, January 13th, 2025. Speaking of 2025, I'm not sure, but it is possible that 2025 might be a very exciting year for everyone. But I've got an interesting question/riddle for you to ponder, gentlemen. Okay, you ready?
Mhm.
If something is full of, can it be smart? If something is full of, can it be smart? Don't twist your brain in too many knots on it. Just,
You're calling it an it, so it'd have to not be a person. So we're talking about a smart toilet, perhaps?
Jerry, you're a damn genius. That's exactly what this is. 2025 may be the year of the smart toilet.
Oh boy.
Japanese toilet and bidet toilet seat maker, Toto. Okay, the company's name is Toto. Japanese toilet and bidet toilet seat maker, Toto, is setting its sights on conquering the American market, promising to triple its showrooms in the United States from 100 to 300 across 63 cities by the end of next year. That's according to the company's CEO. In other news, there are 100 toilet showrooms in the United States in various cities. And I've yet to see one, but I have to admit I'm a little curious. And I've seen the Tesla stores at the malls here and there, but I've not seen the toilet store. Toto brought the bidet to the masses in Japan in 1980 when it created the washlet. That's a bidet toilet seat attachment. The company now boasts 60 million washlets. They currently cost around $350. 60 million washlets in use worldwide. It also offers a range of high-tech smart toilets that cost anywhere from $6,000 to over $22,000 for a toilet. Sorry, for a smart toilet. So for $6,000 to $22,000, or more than $22,000, what do they do? Already spread wide in Japan and other Asian markets, Toto toilets use less water and offer features that other boring, dumb toilets could only dream of, such as flushing systems that blast off streaks on the bowl.
Nice.
Not just regular bidet streams, but oscillating bidet streams. Kind of like the other day when we were talking about the story where doctors had said it's important for you not to spend more than 10 minutes on the toilet at a time. And that means they're going to have to put some sort of, timer on these toilets, because if you're having an oscillating bidet system, I mean, that's going to be at least 15, 20 minutes if you're getting a butt massage like that. Oh, and these smart toilets also come with memory settings for different users.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm
happy they made it out of Africa. Sorry.
No, I was trying to come up with one too.
Toto. They've come a long way since Africa, is what you mean. And here's the big picture. Toto, the smart toilet manufacturer, who as Trey very keenly pointed out, has made it out of Africa. Toto, the toilet manufacturer, has backed off growth efforts in China after years of falling sales, which it attributes to a slowing real estate market. The company thinks it can instead tap the U.S. market and ride the pandemic wave of bidet obsession. I, for one, can't wait to see the Toto toilet store at the mall next to Neiman Marcus. Or are they going to do licensing deals with these? Because we talked last year about how luxury manufacturers or luxury brands are doing residential real estate now. So there's places like the Louis Vuitton building that are apartments and condos and things. There's one I saw last week in Florida. It's the Porsche building, but it's sinking.
Yeah, it's falling in. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a smart toilet, memory settings, streak washing, oscillating bidet. It's Trey, you're our Star Trek expert. Was there anything like that on Star Trek, either the original or the Next Generation?
That's something they never really covered.
Yeah, they never talked about the bathrooms.
Yeah, I don't. Will they do the luxury market, or will they go like the spirits, deal and just take over, empty real estate?
Oh, that's a good idea, because like Spirit Halloween will take over failed retail businesses and open up shop. That's not a bad idea. So maybe there'll be a nice Toto smart toilet bidet store where Forever 21 used to be.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Just don't put him in the food court. That's just asking for trouble.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Did you know you can get even more Treehouse? Subscribe to Treehouse Plus. Bonus content and subscriber-only episodes, including video, are available at patreon.com/treehouseonair. I just now realized I read this in the last segment, but it's important to say it twice, so I'm going to just stay with it. That is patreon.com/treehouseonair to get Treehouse Plus. Dan and Trey inside the Treehouse. Today is Monday, January 13th, 2025. So let's celebrate with some birthdays. It's actually a decent birthday day. The thing that I love about birthdays is we get some of the most random content that we ever get on this show out of birthdays. One of the things I hate about birthdays is if you have a slow birthday day. Today is not one of those days, thankfully. Starting off, Natalia Dyer turns 30 today. Natalia Dyer turns 30. Trey, you and I know her best as Nancy Wheeler on Stranger Things.
Okay.
So the Mike's older sister. I'm going to use this as a real big segue here, Trey, okay? This is what I mean by random content during birthday. So here's what we're going to do. So Natalia Dyer's birthday is today. She's Nancy Wheeler on Stranger Things, and she's 30. She's 30 years old and plays a high school student in Stranger Things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But did you ever look at her and think there's no... did you ever think it wasn't believable that she could be a senior in high school?
No, not really.
Not really, right? Now, this is not a new thing. Hollywood has done this forever. They'll take older actresses and put them in younger roles, maybe because they're just better actresses. One of the best examples I can give, and one of the is from Beverly Hills 90210. The actress that played Andrea, the curly-haired newspaper manager, which oddly enough, so is Nancy Wheeler in Stranger Things. She was like 30 years old as well, playing a high school student. Okay. Here's my big segue from one thing to another, using old actresses playing young parts. The TV show you love right now, Landman.
Yes.
Billy Bob Thornton and the relationship he has with his TV show daughter. I don't know her name, but Tara and I watched the first episode the other night at your suggestion.
How'd you like it?
Trey, I got to admit, I've really got to admit to you, it's really stupid.
Really?
That's so stupid. Now, here's the thing. Most of the Landman stuff I was on board with, and it's not all stupid. The daughter dynamic thing, that's too much for me to swallow. Because when he first picks her up, and Tara knows I've been just shy of obsessed with this. When I first saw her, it's like my first thought was there's no way that girl is anywhere near believable 17. And she's not. She's 27. She just didn't look it at all.
Okay. I never got that one.
I did. The first thing I saw, I was like, you're kidding me. That's just ridiculous. So I think the casting there was bad. It's not believable enough that she'd be high school age. And the other thing that bothered us was when the accident happened at the rig where they had the blowout, and Billy Bob Thornton at the beginning of the second episode has to go and shut off the valve. So the chain of events here, and this is not a spoiler, but they have a blowout at an oil rig, right? Or at a gas thing, whatever. So it's a big explosion. It's dangerous and it's scary and it hurts some people. And then there's first responders on scene. And then in comes Billy Bob Thornton, the landman. None of the firefighters on scene or anything try to do anything about the blowout or shut off a valve. They don't do anything. So Billy Bob Thornton has to put on the jacket and he goes and does it. And then when he does it, he smashes his finger and then he calls and says, we need a fire crew out for this explosion. Well, that should have been the first call.
No, he had to get the gas valve shut.
When he's driving, which it's West Texas, driving to this blowout, which is probably an hour away, if not more, where he gets the call. You know there's a blowout. Call the people that are supposed to come, shut it off and do something about it.
Well, as you'll figure out throughout the show, and there's some truth to this, of the more they can contain in-house and not get authorities involved, the better off they are.
All right. I'll take your word for it. It just seems silly when there's a fire to wait a really long time before you call the people that are in charge of fighting it.
I mean, I forgot, can't think of his last name. His name was Red. There was a guy, like his whole job was to go into these oil, like, because they're too hot for just regular firefighters. His whole job was to go in, and a lot of times he would use explosives to shut these fires down. Gotcha. So, it's amazing the crap you will watch, but then you're going to pick apart Landman.
Why does the daughter not wear any pants? It's weird.
It's granted. So here's the thing.
She crawls into bed with her dad, not wearing any pants.
Hang on. It's a weird, as Allie Larder gets introduced into the show, things with the daughter make a lot more sense.
Oh yeah, no, they've well established the fact that there's a really up family dynamic here that makes it okay for the daughter to not wear any pants, barely a shirt, and get in bed with her daddy. The good news is I know what the porn parody is going to look like.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
When you're at treehouseonair.com, you can also find a link to our YouTube channel. Or you can just go to it directly. Because if you like to watch, you can watch us as well on YouTube. Search for the Treehouse on YouTube, or go to our channel directly, youtube.com/@treehouseonair. Or again, you can just click on a link right there on the website, treehouseonair.com, to catch Treehouse TV. Treehouse TV is on YouTube. Very fun. Very nice. All right. Before we get out of the Treehouse for today, Trey, I'm going to let you choose your own adventure for the end of the show. Okay. Would you like more of a good birthdays? Or do you want to revisit the wildfires in LA, but focus on the idiots?
Ooh.
I know. The temptation to know what the other birthdays are on a, quote, good birthday day are versus the guaranteed hilarity and hijinks from wildfire idiots.
I'm going to go with birthdays.
Really? I got to admit, I'm a little surprised.
Well,
mm-hmm.
and there's a reason.
Okay.
Number one is too soon. And number two, that list will just grow.
That is true. There will be plenty of meat on that bone to pick tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. That works for me. Whereas these birthdays today are just for today.
Yeah. Very seldom do you say it's a good birthday day. So I'm intrigued.
True. I'm a birthday snob. All right. So for today, Monday, January 13th, 2025, birthdays today, we so far have only covered one. The actress that plays Nancy Wheeler on Stranger Things is 30 today. Her name is Natalia Dyer. Other birthdays. Liam Hemsworth is 35 today. He's the younger brother of Luke and Chris Hemsworth. Liam is the one that played Gale in the Hunger Games movies. He's also taking over the role of Geralt of Rivia from Henry Cavill in the upcoming 4th season of actually, I think that already aired. He took over for Henry Cavill in The Witcher. And no offense to Liam Hemsworth, he's a good actor, but man, I don't know if you ever want to like follow Henry Cavill in anything.
No. And I mean, isn't he also Mr. Cyrus?
He was. That surprisingly, shockingly, that relationship he had with Miley Cyrus did not last. It was just we were all stunned by that.
Yeah. It was a big shock.
We really thought those kids were going to make it. So anyway, Liam Hemsworth, he is 35 today. Arguably one of the most famous American Idol alums who never actually made it on the show. William Hung, he is 42 today. Never actually made it on the show, was just in the audition process, is one of the most famous people to come out of it still. William Hung, 42 today. Orlando Bloom turns 48. He played the dashing Will Turner in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He's also the elf Legolas in the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. Right now, he's starring on Amazon's Carnival Row. And he, speaking of American Idol, is Mr. Katy Perry.
Yes, he is. You know, here's a confession. I have never seen any of the Pirates movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll like them or not, because they're fun. You know what? I almost said I think you will, but I really have no idea.
Yeah, I'll have to watch one.
Just watch one. Watch the first one. I mean, it's not mandatory that you watch them in order or whatever, but have you ever watched any of the Harry Potter movies?
Oh, all of them. Okay.
So I have an issue with the Harry Potter movies and the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
What's your issue with Harry Potter?
Look, it's nothing like that. It's not that bad. Because I don't know if I've seen them all or not. Because the Harry Potter movies and the Pirates of the Caribbean movies would air on TV so much, and I would watch one. I wasn't sure which one I was watching because I might pick it up somewhere in there.
They're numbered. The Harry Potter movies are numbered.
Are they?
Yes.
But when I'm watching TV on the guide, it doesn't say Harry Potter 1 or Harry Potter 4. It's like
I promise
Harry
you,
Potter and the whatever it is.
If you look at the info, when they show the picture of there'll always be a number on it.
I don't think my guide has the numbers.
I bet it does.
It's just like it's like Harry Potter roulette. I don't know if I'm getting 2 or 6
or
getting shot in the face.
or here you try this one out. You can Google Harry Potter movies in order, and it'll give you a list.
I'm aware of the function of I've heard of the website Google. Yeah, big fan of it. Been a big fan of Google for many years. But I don't. So look, I've seen. I don't know if I've seen all the movies, both franchises. I think I have, but I'm not certain. Because I know I've seen the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie, although I don't know which one that is titled. And I know I've seen the final Harry Potter, but there's one movie in the middle of both of those franchises where I'm a little foggy. I'm not sure if I did or not.
Okay.
I have nothing against the Harry Potter films, Trey. I don't want you to go to war with me over the Harry Potter films, but I do know more about you now, my friend of over 20 years. That what are Harry Potter like fanatics known as? Potter files, or I mean, I really don't know.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of them dress up in different Hogwarts, different
The different houses.
groups. Yeah. But
If you could choose your own house at the Hogwarts school, where do you think you would be? Would you be a Slytherin or a Pumpernickel or whatever it is?
I don't even remember all of them.
some Harry Potter fan you are.
Hufflepuff. I have no idea if that's right or not.
I just want to hear you say the words. I'm a Hufflepuff.
I am Hufflepuff.
Oh man, you just made my day. Thank you, Trey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse today. We'll see you tomorrow, right back here inside the Treehouse. Before I let you go, don't want you to forget, for all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow us on social media. For the show, it's at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. Although maybe you might want to think about switching over to some sort of Hufflepuff derivative. Just saying. Anyway, back to what I was originally saying. We'll see you back here tomorrow inside the Treehouse.